Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight, figure number 13, the Joker. This wave was the wave that I was really looking forward to eventually getting and making available in stores. As soon as I saw him and Harley Quinn, I picked up both. This is the Batman Arkham Knight version of the Joker. Joker's got a tropical shirt on, comes included with what appears to be a necklace of flowers, a camera, and some interchangeable hands. The same open window box art is the same box art that we see with other figure releases. On the side, you've also got the carryover of the wire frame of the character from the video game. Down below, you've got figure 13, DC Collectibles below that. And the back of the package, Series 4, also consisted of the classic costumed Harley Quinn, to which Spot picked up both figures. So a review of Harley Quinn will be not literally right around the corner, but you know what I mean. Almost right around the corner. The figures were sculpted by Phil Ramirez, and then on the underside of the package, www.dccomics.com if you want to see more from the folks over at DC Comics, and equally so, you scratching your noodle, can't figure out why right now you can't find a comic shop locator. Scratch your noodle no further, my friends. Head over to www.comicsshoplocator.com and you can check out a comic book store in your area. And no more scratching that brain of yours trying to figure out, oh, can't find a comic book store. I've used this, and actually that allowed me to find the comic book store that I go to now all the time. So taking it firsthand from somebody that's used it, I can tell you it actually works. Sounds like Spot's trying to market medication. No, it's not medication. If you want to consider a website, though, as a relief to your frustrations, then we'll call it medication. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at the Batman Arkham Knight, figure number 13, the Joker. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Before we address the somewhat less glaring problem with this figure, let's look at some of the accessories that come included with him first. First things first, the Joker comes with a camera. And actually the camera is pretty nicely painted for as small as it is. It's got not quite a metal to it, not quite a gunmetal, but it almost comes across almost a brownish silver color on the top there, where all the lens adjustments and flash button will be. The front also has a little bit of that silver treatment as well, and not omitted, there's a little bit of silver on the sides as well. The strap of the camera is soft rubber, so it's very easy to put over the Joker's neck. I'll show you that in a second. Moving along the list of accessories, he also comes with a flower necklace. Not quite maybe a lei, but a flower necklace there. Very soft rubber. Same soft rubber as the camera, but just by virtue of the fact that the actual necklace is a little thinner, it certainly adds to a little bit more pliability that the necklace has. Very soft, very pliable. Joker also comes with a series of interchangeable hands because unfortunately the hands that he is currently sporting are closed shut. Hands perfect for holding said camera. I would say not necessarily for holding the necklace, but suited for holding the camera. And to change those out is simply as just wiggling the hand out like that and replacing it with the appropriate hand that you need, just like that. Now, depending on how you want to have him posed, of course you can have the camera around his neck, because again it's a soft rubber, and you can have him holding the camera like, and again, this is one thing I'll talk about in a second. You can have the actual hand holding the camera as if it's actually wanting to take a photo. Now, you could also you could accomplish the same thing by having the hand out, but unfortunately, the strap is always going to be attached to the camera. I'd almost be inclined to probably take the strap completely off because it looks off by simply having the Joker holding the camera regularly. The only downside to that, of course, you can't put it around his neck if you take the strap off. So a small little nitpick about that. Then we can go ahead and add the flower necklace. It's like that. Say cheese. You probably maybe, unless you're really smart, you might not have picked up right away what the glaring issue with this figure is. Just take the camera out of his hand, put it to the side. The glaring issue with this figure, sadly, is not the torso. Well, I guess it is the torso. It's not the body mold necessarily. It's the shirt that they've added over top of the figure. We'll take this off completely. Spend more time on the figure itself. The figure, for as good as the figure turned out, is so restricted by his arms. This whole frame here, the Joker's torso, has been covered in a soft rubber appliance to simulate his tropical shirt. The downside, though, is while I would have just appreciated, I guess they wanted to go with a baggy look, but while I would have appreciated if this was just sculpted and ball socketed to the top of the shoulder area of his torso, they instead decided just to put an entire rubber shirt over top of his arms. It basically eliminates any sort of posing options you could possibly want out of Joker. You could, I guess, in theory, try to take his arms off, as easier said than done, and take his head off, and maybe try to take the jacket or take the shirt completely off. When I first started kind of scratching my head thinking, why would they have done this? I thought, okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. This is DC Collectibles after all. Maybe they had put a slit or something on the back, something that you wouldn't see from the front, but from the back, that you could just unhinged and taken the shirt completely off. They did not do that. There's nothing on here that would allow the shirt to come off. Maybe taking a slice yourself, you might be able just to unhinge the shirt and take it completely off. But then that just leaves a big slice on the back that is never going to really go back together again. And you're just going to have a loose shirt that's just going to sit all over, like just flop around on you. It's such a good figure. Why did they screw it up by incorporating unmoving arms due to just all this being added? This could have been ball jointed. This could have been left loose. Why they didn't do that? Let's kind of touch base on some of the positives at least. I don't want to sound completely negative in this review. There's his face. His face is good. You don't see many Jokers where it's just a smile and the teeth have been completely left off. So that's a nice change. He's got his baseball cap there. The neck is pretty clean. I thought there might have been some green splotched on the neck, but it's pretty clean. The hair is a very bright, vibrant green. He's got some darker kind of shading around the eye area. And the paint on his mouth, again, very clean. No real quality issues in the regards of the painting. And then when you look at the figure, there's a lot of stuff you can pick from the figure. He's got the bandaged area of his one elbow. That's nicely done. He's got a watch, also on the side by his wrist, or on his wrist. He's also got a real working chain that attaches to the top area of his, which hopefully you can see or not. It's been attached to the front and the side of his waist. The side, he's got what looks to be a napkin. He's got a bandage on the lower area right by his ankle. And then he's got a pair of loafers. The figure screams good until you start moving around anything on the figure, and then you see quickly the shortcomings that this figure has. Really, he does have posability, but you can't really do anything with it. It's almost like they could have just given you a brick underneath it because you're really not making use of anything in there. There's a crunch in there, but you can't do anything with it because of his shirt. Two things they could have done: slice on the back, take the shirt off, or sculpted this as a loose piece attached to his shoulders, but glue it at the top of the shoulder. You would see, yes, cut off where the shoulder would stop here, or the sleeve would stop, and then the top of the shoulder would start, but at least you'd have a ball joint there. By making this completely one piece, you've killed this figure from having any sort of chance that he could have done something above and beyond just really moving his elbows. He's got a double hinged elbow, which at times does look awkward. Yes, I'll give it that. But you could at least do a little bit more with it in the shoulder area. And sadly, he just doesn't have it. When it comes to his posability, the Joker's head is on a ball joint. I'd like to say there's a ball joint in his shoulders. I mean, like this is all extra. His shoulder doesn't start till about there. I feel like somebody, when you take your child in to get their foot measured at a shoe store, person's feeling for the toe. Well, there's the toe right there. That's where his shoulder starts. But then he's got all this loose, unable to really do much with it, extra stuff to it. He does have a swivel in the bicep. As mentioned, he does have the double hinged elbow, which you might have to overlook the fact that it does look a little jarring at times. It does have a swivel and also hinge in the wrist. Sure, he does have the waist swivel. Sure, he would have a crunch, but really, what are you going to get accomplished from that? Nothing. Legs go forward, legs go back, legs go out. At least they should go out. Maybe they actually, you know what? They don't go out. It looked as if the leg actually did go out and only goes forward and back. You guys have bend in the knee, rotation on the lower leg, and a hinge on the foot, which I also might add has a great ankle pivot. This seems just perplexing to me. A figure this good, certainly somebody looking at the finished product before this went to be, mass produced, somebody I'm sure should have thought to themselves, guys, hey, have you really looked at this figure? I can't do anything with the shoulders. To which maybe the other guys have said, hey, let me have a look at that. You're absolutely right. I can't do anything with the shoulders. You think this might be problematic for a collector? I think you're right. I think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. This just seems like natural, obvious problems that why they incorporated it the way they did is beyond me. You could probably even separate the shirt. I mean, like only the bottom really attaches itself. The rest looks like it's all one appliance. But this seems like dated construction. Why create a figure that has such limitations when the sculpt and mold is so good? For that reason, I like the figure, the sculpt is great, but I can't really recommend it unless you're fine for the fact that you can't do anything with his arms. Sigh. Today's toy spot, boy oh boy spot, we were having a look. Oh, we were looking at a very good yet very disappointing Joker. This was from the new Batman Arkham Knight. Yeah, Arkham Knight. We were looking at figure number 13. This was Joker with limited posability. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more toy spots heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.